Welcome to Travel with Sean. I'm Sean. Today we are in Nuremberg, Germany. It's located about 100 miles north of Munich. It was first mentioned in records in 1050 as being an imperial city. It is also the principal city of a region of Bavaria known as Franconia, which takes its name from a Germanic people known as the Franks, of which the most famous was Charlemagne, the Holy Roman Emperor who ruled in the early 800s. Nuremberg is also the birthplace of the famous composer and musician Johann Pachelbel. Nuremberg played an important role in the Protestant Reformation because it was here in 1541 that Ferdinand, the King of Austria, was forced to allow people to choose whether they wanted to be Protestant or Roman Catholic. Before that, they had to be Roman Catholic, but it was here in Nuremberg he was forced to sign a document allowing them to make a decision if they wanted to be Protestant. Starting in 1945, following the end of World War II, it was here in Nuremberg that Nazi war criminals were charged with crimes against humanity, war crimes, and were executed. Our first stop looking around Nuremberg is at St. Lawrence Evangelical Lutheran Church. In German, it's called Lorenzkirche. It is one of the first churches built in all of Germany. Construction began in 1250 and it wasn't completed until 1477. It started, of course, as a Roman Catholic church, but became Protestant, Lutheran in 1525. Lorenzkirche, or St. Lawrence Church in English, is one of the most prominent and historic churches in Nuremberg. Its tall twin towers dominate the city's skyline. This impressive-looking church has played a significant role in the city's religious and architectural history since the 13th century. Construction began in 1243 and was built in phases over about 200 years. It has undergone many renovations and extensions throughout the centuries, most significantly between 1738 and 1752, but also its post-World War II restoration. With its historical and cultural significance, as well as its vast collection of art, Lorenzkirche is a must-visit landmark for those exploring the city of Nuremberg. The interior of the church is adorned with beautiful stained glass windows, detailed sculptures, and a collection of impressive artwork. One of the most renowned pieces of art inside the church is the Annunciation by Weißgerbergasse. Created in the late 15th century, it depicts the angel Gabriel announcing to the Virgin Mary that she will conceive the Son of God. Lorenzkirche is the oldest and largest hall church in Nuremberg. Although it was the fifth church in Germany to become Lutheran in 1525, it has kept most of its pre-Reformation artworks. Many of the sculptures and carvings, like the Annunciation that I just mentioned, were created by Weißgerbergasse, a famous and well-known sculptor who was born in Nuremberg in the mid-1400s, and Adam Kraft of the same period, who is also based in Nuremberg. Many common furnishings of the church are also works of art. The pulpit, for example, was built in the early 1600s. Above the pulpit is a painting of the German eagle, the historic symbol of the country. Notice the detailed carvings on the outside of the pulpit? Throughout the church, visitors will find many sculptures crafted with meticulous detail, showcasing the skill of the artisans who contributed to the church's collection over the centuries. Although most artworks look like they're from the 15th and 16th centuries, some look original to the 13th century. This cross obviously is not so old. It marks the beginning and ending of World War I and World War II in Germany. Open to the public for free from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily, Lorenzkirche is easily walkable from just about anywhere in Altstadt, the historic center of the city. But there is a U-Bahn metro station across the street. We're standing in the Nuremberg city market, and behind me is Frauenkirche. In English, you would say Church of Our Lady. Sounds Roman Catholic, and it is. Its origins begin in 1349. There used to be a synagogue here, and in 1349 there was an episode of the Black Death, bubonic plague in the city. The locals blamed the Jews for this disease, plague, and they drove the Jews out of the city, and the Holy Roman Emperor ordered that the synagogue be destroyed and Jews be banned from the city. In place of the synagogue, he ordered that there be a Catholic church built and a market. That's the beginning of this market and Frauenkirche. In 1525, the church became Protestant, Lutheran evangelical. In 1810, a Roman Catholic parish took possession of the church and converted it back to becoming a Catholic parish church. It was nearly completely destroyed from bombing in World War II and has been nearly completely rebuilt since then. The market in front of Frauenkirche is located in Hauptmarkt, the main market square of Nuremberg. Hauptmarkt has been a focal point of the city for centuries. Isn't this a beautiful fountain behind me? Made of gold. The name in German is der Schöner Brunnen, which means the beautiful fountain. Very creative naming. It was built in the late 1380s and 1390s. Legend says that it was intended to be placed at the top of the steeple for Frauenkirche, and that it proved to be too difficult, so they made it into a fountain. In 1939, the Nazis dismantled the fountain and encased it in concrete, which is probably one of the best things they did. They protected this fountain from the bombing in World War II. 1945, after the war was over and the fountain was found, it was put back in its place. Der Schöner Brunnen is located in Hauptmarkt and visible from a great distance, making it a central and easily accessible landmark, and therefore an ideal gathering point. Behind me is Sebalduskirche, or St. Sabales Church in English. It was named after Sebaldus, who was a missionary and a hermit monk, who is also the patron saint of Nuremberg. Construction began in 1255, and it took nearly 50 years to complete. With the heavy bombing of Nuremberg during World War II, there was some damage, but mostly to the exterior. Sabalduskirche, or St. Sabales Church in English, features two prominent towers that rise above the facade. These towers, while not identical in height, contribute to the church's distinctive silhouette on the Nuremberg skyline. The main entrance of the church is marked by a grand portal with a pointed arch, framed by intricate stone carvings and sculptures. The exterior of the church is adorned with numerous statues and sculptures. Inside, the church has a classic design, with a main area in the center where the congregation sits, called the nave, and columns on each side supporting arches that lead to smaller aisles. The tall and open nave makes the inside of the church feel big and impressive. Catherine's altar, originally made about 1463 and reconstructed in 2000, reflects the life and death of St. Catherine. The church contains many beautiful stained glass windows, including one dating back to about 1400, celebrating the life of the Virgin Mary. One made in 1379 shows scenes from Jesus' crucifixion, and another, created in 1360, is of the Apostles' Creed and depicts 10 apostles. This ornate tabernacle is flanked by sculptures of St. Peter and St. Sebaldus. The upper part depicts God the Father offering his crucified Son to mankind for their salvation. Nuremberg, with its rich history and medieval heritage, once had walls and several city gates that played a crucial role in fortifying and protecting the city. While many of the gates have been lost to time and urban development, a few still stand as remnants of the city's historical fortifications. City gates usually had a watchtower, and Tiergartner Tor was no exception. When you come out of the tunnel and look to your left, there it is, Tiergartner Turm. I'm standing on the Nuremberg city wall. The original wall, of which construction began in the 12th century, when it was completed in 1400, it circled and enclosed Old Town Nuremberg. By the 1800s, they started doing some planned demolition of the city walls. What was left had some severe damage during Allied bombing in World War II in the 1944 and 1945 time frame. After the war, they began reconstruction. It is still an ongoing process of ongoing project of reconstructing the wall. Behind me is the original Nuremberg city castle. It also had severe damage during World War II, and they've been working on reconstructing it as well. Isn't this a pretty view? This is what you can see when standing on the Nuremberg city wall. This is a view of the wooden walkway that the city built to allow visitors to walk the wall. Now we're standing in Weißgerbergasse, which is a neighborhood of Nuremberg that has about 20 houses from the medieval period that survived World War II. Viceburggasse is a picturesque little street in the heart of Nuremberg. This charming street is a journey back in time, with its cobblestone pavement and colorful half-timbered houses lining both sides. As you stroll through, notice the intricate details of the historic architecture, each building telling a story of the city's medieval past. The street creates an intimate atmosphere, making it the perfect spot for a leisurely walk or some quiet exploration. To capture the street's essence, stop by a quaint cafe or shop to add to your experience. Weißgerbergasse is not just a physical location, it's a living piece of Nuremberg's history, offering a unique and captivating experience for anyone who steps into its timeless charm. Oh, hi. We're getting our dinner in Nuremberg, which, as I said earlier, is the principal city of the Franconian region of Bavaria. And we're having a traditional Franconian dinner, which is 6 small bratwurst sausages with either potato salad or sauerkraut. In Germany, you top off your meal with a glass of beer, and in this case we're getting Weissbier, which is a wheat beer. Prost! Cheers! Now that we finished our dinner, our main course, we're going to have a traditional German dessert, Apfelstrudel. In English, we call it apple strudel. Looks delicious. Guten Appetit. So creamy. Wonderful. I said in the beginning that the famous composer Johann Pachelbel was born here. Now let's listen to his masterpiece while enjoying some scenery from around the city. Thank you for watching. If you like what you saw, give me a thumbs up. That, leaving a comment, subscribing, all help me grow my channel. I appreciate your comments. Until next time, cheers, auf Wiedersehen, goodbye.